Zinnia Stormwatch saw her first lightning flash on 25 January 1999 inside a tin-roof cabin perched above the dune grass of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina. Her mother, a roving Afro-funk saxophonist who folds dried marigold petals into her reed case, riffed a sleepy blues line that made the window glass vibrate. Her father, a hurricane buoy technician who sketches cloud dragons on torn work orders, bit so close their noses touched and promised his daughter that tide lines, gossip, and gale warnings all step aside for a soul that refuses to fold smaller than her own horizon. Curves flood the Stormwatch bloodline exactly the way warm Gulf water feeds a cyclone, so nobody worried when baby Zinnia burst her second cotton wrap before dawn pinked the Atlantic. Grandma Isla slipped a fishhook needle under every rip seam, patched with sailcloth cut from a retired spinnaker, then laughed that extra cloth cost pennies while teaching a child to shrink might cost her whole maps of tomorrows. Elementary hallways smelled of chalk dust, sweet corn fritters, and salt air sneaking through cracked sash windows. Zinnia already rose a head above her desk mates, blocking the projector glow each time she diagrammed compound verbs. One drizzly recess, a pair of boys hop-skipped around her chanting shrimp trawler whenever her rubber boots thudded the chalk grid. That twilight, she prowled the tide line gathering soda caps, burnished mirror bright by wave churn, threaded them on fishing leader, stitched the jangling spine down her aqua hoodie, and strode into class at sunrise, scattering prism sparks across ceiling tiles. A volunteer reading coach caught 8 shaky seconds on a prepaid flip phone, posted the glimmer to a tiny video corner, and by lunch, 16,000 strangers applauded the girl who forged mockery into beacon light. Zinnia printed a promise in violet gel across her spelling sheet margin. Clouds crowd only until you flash them bright enough to flee. Weekends belonged to Lighthouse Key, where her mother's sax lines braided with the hiss of hush puppy fryers, gull screeches, and shrimp boats rattling rigs. Store jeans snagged halfway up Zinnia's thighs, so she swapped tip jar quarters for sun-faded cast net, unraveled it into soft rope, crocheted high-waist shorts, misted sandpiper silhouettes in squid ink, and posed at orange sunset against rush-streaked cleats while her cousin snapped grainy photos. She loaded each frame into a diary called Storm Lantern the same week a photo app floated across patchy shore towers. Captions bounced from Outer Banks slang to straight truths like curves anchor storms steadier than breakwaters. Before 16 candles flickered, she counted 50,000 unseen friends, double tapping each amber frame, proof that distant screens hush cafeteria whispers louder than any hall monitor hiss. Her coastal engineering scholarship ferried her west to Texas A&M. Daylight vanished in wave flume labs. Nights belonged to a 24-hour taco trailer glowing neon lime beside live oak trunks. The heat lamp served as her softbox. Between carnitas orders, she filmed 90-second reels twisting parchment into sea rose barrettes while decoding dart rotation in a voice half surf hush, half lecture snap. Layered laughing gold calls over a pocket synth groove while she chain-stitched reflective boat rope into thrift denim. And 2 sunrises later, the views cruised past 1 million. Gulf Coast style pages crowned her the taco trailer couturier, though sponsor emails still froze at size 16. Zinnia slid every pitch into a folder labeled shrinking nets, wiped ancho sauce from her cuff, and flipped another tortilla. A spring squall carried an email from Columbia Sportswear requesting she steer a salt spray capsule named Gyre Pulse. She answered with 3 granite firm terms. Patterns must stretch to 60-inch hips, half the creative crew hired from community college fashion programs, and 10% of net profit routed into artificial reef blocks down the Carolina shelf. Columbia signed before sun touched the lab skylight. The shoot unfolded at dawn on a shell spit where black skimmers drew chalk lines in the glass water. Zinnia coached curvy paddleboard pilots across silver flats while a drone etched lazy spirals overhead. When the lookbook launched, every extended-sized windshell disappeared inside 41 hours across 27 nations. Storm Lantern vaulted beyond 700,000 followers. Still scented with chimichurri, she ducked behind flour sacks, balanced her phone on a cooler, and live-streamed tear-bright thanks beneath humming fluorescence. Bart's ripple of action. If that lift already sparks your heartbeat, press subscribe right now. 1 free tap anchors you on the prowl so next week's wave lands in your feed before the algorithm tide turns. Spotlight shimmer attracted rumor gulls. A gossip vlog claimed Zinnia wore steel corsets under her Columbia shells. Pre-dawn, she paddled a cedar board beyond sandbars, stood tall in sports bra and linen shorts, traced each stretch stripe with crushed bougainvillea, and poured a tenor sax growl across the dawn hush. 10 million viewers reposted the jam labeled bougainvillea proof, brushing pink powder on their own curves until gossip drifted seaward. Taco wages laced with capsule royalties became Stormwatch Glow, a whipped custard swirling Tupelo butter, sea grape oil, and Michael sparks that flare pearl under foam flash. 19,010s cooled on her father's workbench, lids knotted with braided trot line, each tag stamped Moisturize Your Horizon. Inventory vanished in 82 minutes, raising $199,000. 20% launch Beacon Grant sending industrial surgers and hydrophone kits to plus-size teams in inlet counties, from Ocracoke to Port Lavaca. 8 months later, 36 grant winners staged a floating fashion and dolphin song parade on a retro tug strung with LED sea oats, streaming live to sunrise anchors from Dublin to Durban. Charleston Fashion Week minted new pure lore when a backstage blower sliced her emerald mesh gown from rib to knee 90 seconds before curtains. Zinnia ripped neon dock line from a light truss, laced the tear like boot hooks, and strode the runway as if the splice had slipped in every sketch. Camera shutters cracked like blue crab claws. Vogue Tidewater named the moment Rope Cadence. And another million lantern voyagers surfaced before the after party's first trumpet note. Sabotage tried again when a fired liaison leak trimmed emails claiming she demanded lobster grilled cheese and chauffeured fan boats for her rescue Pelican radar. She released the full thread, refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, caption tablets for deaf stylists, then funneled that month affiliate revenue $137,000 into biodegradable crab trap trials along Cape Fear. Fans echoed her doc mantra. Receipts shine brighter than rumor grit until whisper sank beneath slack tide. By Midsummer Storm, lanterns shimmered across 6.8 million Instagram hearts, 3.4 million real Voyagers, and just over 2 million durable channel subscribers. Engagement brushing 10% and making ad decks rewrite. Cartier beckoned her to headline a Topaz Surge reel filmed inside the Century Lens at Cape Hatteras. She accepted once therapy stipends for shrimp deckhands battered. By nor'easters were signed, the finished clip, her wrist scattering amber shards across iron ribs, became Cartier's most saved post of the quarter. Family steadies her helm. Twice a month, she streams Strings and Steam. Mom skates funk runs on sax beside a propane griddle. Dad recites cloud haiku. And Zinnia flips thrift denim under fairy bowls. One cast cracked 9 million when Radar waddled through powdered sugar and sneezed a sweet storm on the mic. A wildlife refuge now sponsors each stream, tagging rehabilitated pelicans with solar beacons financed by Stormwatch Glow. Low revenue reached 12 million before its second hurricane season. Zinnia leased a silent oyster shucking shed, cut skylights through corrugated tin, and hired furloughed dock hands, plus design grass to whip custard and knot lids by hand during midday stretch dances to sax house mixes. Packaging gurus begged for heat shrink sleeves. She answered with her mother's line, "Fingerprints hold folklore longer than robots remember," and rope ties stayed. Mental health truth flows through her feed. Granite jetty portraits sit beside taco trailer selfies, captioned "Same sky, different weather." She shares breath loops recorded in echo caves, printable resilience pages in English Angola, and sliding scale counseling links. 118,000 followers say her shoreline honesty was their first calm harbor. Community rides glow beneath crushed shell paint. Hundreds wheel the barrier island path at dusk, wearing Stormwatch Glow across collarbones and LED storm petrol tassels on spokes. Ticket cash swells beacon grants, installs wheelchair snorkel lifts at Soundside parks. Chowder Shacks ladle late because conch stew bowls spike 15% on ride nights. Zinnia pedals lead on a vintage cruiser with Radar plush tied in front, stopping to lace any rider's trailing shoe. She is drafting a memoir titled Currents Keep Names, slated for 11 language editions next summer, while a dock crew tracks her project to convert retired weather buoys into floating maker labs for coastal high schools. Puma's wide toe wave lantern sneaker splashes next quarter, threaded with reflective rope and cushioned by algae foam, pouring 10% of revenue into beacon ceilings along the Atlantic Rim. second wave of encouragement. If your subscribe button still glows scarlet, tap it to still gray now. That click reserves your rail so the next swell finds you first. As playback settles, open the description. Waiting there are fresh Stormwatch glow drops, a fast lane into BK Grant entries, tonight's strings and steam playlist in a discreet compass, a research-grounded map of conversation sparks and calm confidence drills that guide you toward genuine love, and the surest method to kindle lasting attraction in any woman you meet. Absolutely free. If the soda cap, spine, rope cadence, gown, rescue, or radar sneeze hoisted your smile, hit the like heart, toss your loudest ripple in the comments, and pass this voyage to a friend whose cells hang slack. Every curve redirects currents, every scar refracts moonlight, and the Atlantic bows to anyone who plants 2 sturdy boots on the pier and greets tomorrow eyes wide. Third, and softest breeze drifts past your speaker. Subscribe now, claim your proud post, and meet me on the next rising tide when another story glimmers beyond the breakers and courage calls your name again.